Okay, we are very fortunate. Today's class is given by Her Grace Savitiri Mataji. Mataji, we are reading Caitanya Caritamrta, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, 200 onwards. Mataji, please take over the call, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you, Anjana Gopika. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj, all the Vaishnavas. We are going to read from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Madhya Lila, chapter 24. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manohishtam Hitam Yena Bhutala Rupapadamam Isma Padani Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Rupam Savrajat Raghunatham Tam
Hare Krishna.
Sadvitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lila Shri Vishakhan Kamsham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shiradhi Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sukhadevi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sorry. Hare Krishna, are you hearing me? Sorry.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. So in this chapter, we are hearing from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the different explanations of the verse known as Atmaram verse. And Sanatana Goswami was listening to this with different explanations of Atmaram verse. Mahaprabhu spoke different meaning of Atma. Now he is speaking about another meaning of the word Atma. So we are starting from the text number 200. Mahaprabhu speaking. Atma Shabde Shabhavu Kahe Tate Jai Rami Atmaramo Jiva Jato Sthaboro Jangami. Another meaning of the word Atma is one's characteristic nature. Whoever enjoys his particular type of nature is called Atmarama. Therefore, all living entities, be they moving or non-moving, are also called Atmarama. So, Atmarama, the word Atma, has another type of meaning, is Subhava. Here, the word for word meaning has been given, nature. Swabhav means Swarup Bhav. Swarup Bhav. The inherent characteristic. of every living being. Every living being. So living beings are of two kinds, right? Sthavar and Jangam, the moving and non-moving. So Mahaprabhu is speaking another meaning. The word Atma is one's characteristic nature, means intrinsic nature, inherent nature. Swarup Bhava, Swabhava. What is Swarup? The nature of the Swarup is known as Swabhava. Whoever enjoys the particular type of nature is called Atmarama. So in that perspective, all living beings are known as Atmarama. Means they originally are all Atma, right? All the living beings are Atma. So their Surup Bhava is known as Atmarama. Natural characteristic of Atma is known as Atmarama. So what is that? Mahaprabhu speaking. What is actually the meaning of Swabhava or Swarup Bhava? Natural characteristics according to the Swarup. That meaning Mahaprabhu is now explaining in the text number 201. Jivero Shabhavo Krishna Dasho Abhimano Dehe Atmogyani Achadito Shei Gyana. The original nature of every living entity is to consider himself the eternal servant of Krishna, but under the influence of Maya, he thinks himself to be the body, and thus his original consciousness is covered. Our original consciousness means Swarup Bhava. Originally what? We are Atma. That original thoughts or original conception or original feeling or original nature of the living entity is to consider the eternal servant of Krishna. Jive Swarupa Krishneru Nityodas. That is natural, original nature. Is that feeling is the natural feeling or original feeling of all living entities. But that feeling, that conception, that original nature is now covered by Deha Abhiman. Atmogyan Achadito Shegyan. Dehe Atmogyan. So Dehe, that feeling is now being projected to the body. And Atma has forgotten its original nature and acquired the nature of the body. Thinks himself about the body. Body is the Swarup. Body is my original identity. The feelings or consciousness according to Atma, which is original identity, is now covered by the bodily identity. So the Jive Swabhav, which is known as Atmaram, Krishnadas Abhiman, that is now distorted or covered. And because our original nature is covered by the artificial bodily consciousness, thinking I am the body, is the cause of our all misery. this misidentification is the cause of our misery. The original nature is there, but is now projected through the body. So what's the wrong of identifying oneself as the body? Means when our identity is not connected with Krishna, then we identify ourselves with the body or matter. Material identification is the cause of our bondage, and that is binding us. Our spiritual consciousness begins with the identity. When identity is connected with Krishna, means I am Krishna's eternal servant. So my identity is connected. Then my mind is connected, my senses are connected, my existence is connected, everything is connected. Anything connected with Krishna is known as spiritual, and which is not connected with Krishna, that is called material, and that is binding, and that is unnatural situation for the soul. As long as we are conditioned, then we would not connect ourselves with Krishna. Means our identity would not be connected with Krishna. A conditioned soul never does that. As soon as the identity is connected with Krishna, then other things are also connected with Krishna. So that deep feeling that I am servant of Krishna, subordinate, subservient servant of Krishna. And that is the natural condition of living entity, original situation. And that is our original crime too. That is the greatest violation. We forget our relationship with Krishna. That is called forgetfulness. Means we don't identify ourselves with Krishna. Yes? My identity is not connected. And now identity is connected with matter. I am American, I am Indian, or Brahman, or Kshatriya. So this identity is material. Other than that I am eternal part and parcel of Krishna, all the identity is material. Material identity means we are disconnected from Krishna. We are never pure. Consciousness is contaminated. No matter what we do, what limb of devotion service we are practicing, but the identity is impure means everything is impure, material. So therefore, Mahaprabhu is speaking that purify your identity. Purifying identity is the foundation of our spiritual life. My pure identity. So Mahaprabhu is speaking that it's very important for us. And now that is covered. Whole process is to uncover that self-knowledge or self-identity, the pure identity, the original identity of all living entities are now covered. So all the processes for uncovering that truth. Once a living entity is awakened to the pure identity, he will never ever will identify himself with matter, because that is the beginning of our material life, means suffering, life of suffering. So Mahaprabhu kindly is giving us the knowledge about Atma. What is Atma? What's the relationship between Atma and Krishna? And it's very important. So one may ask, how can we get back to that original feeling, original consciousness that I am part and parcel of Krishna? We've been hearing for a long time. Still, we identify ourselves with the matter, not purely means this is my only identification or identity. This is my only, because I am soul. One soul has one identity. But in this material world, one soul has multiple identities. And we think without that material identity we cannot work. Just imagine that one soul who is existing in his natural form in this material world as the eternal servant of Krishna, another person, conditioned soul, is existing in this world under the conception that I am the body. And that is misfortune for the soul. Because soul has a pure form, and I am that same soul from time immemorial. Soul has not been changed. My conceptions of my identity has been changed. A lot of change. Change over there over the time. But the soul's original identity is never changed. So when we are situated in our original natural form, then there will be no change in devotion. A soul can render devotion service in the spiritual world, also in the material world, in the same way. There will be no change in the rendering of devotional service, because soul is the same. Whether a soul lives in the spiritual world or in the material world, when the soul is situated in its original form, natural form, that I am the eternal servant of Krishna, the service attitude is fully developed. So that's the point. And that is the real meaning of Atmarama. As soon as that natural knowledge and bliss is awakened, the soul is engaged in eternal service of the Lord. In no other function but the function of rendering service to the Lord. That person constantly renders the service of the Lord. That's the point Mahaprabhu is conveying here. Mahaprabhu is conveying the establishment of higher consciousness of Atma. Body is the dead matter, but the Atma is now in the conditioned state, projecting its original consciousness through the body. So Mahaprabhu is speaking, 202. Ja shabde evo pi shabdo sumuchaye atmaramo evo ya Shri Krishna bhajaye. In that case, by the word ja, the word eva is meant. The word api can be taken in the sense of aggregation. Thus the verse would read Atmarama Eva. That is, even all kinds of living beings worship Krishna. Therefore, it is here mentioned that every living entity is Atmarama, temporarily covered by the influence of Maya. The living entity serves his senses, which are represented as Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsalya, lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. In the material condition, all living entities are engaged in sense gratification. But when they associate with devotees who follow the regulative principles, they become purified and awakened to their original consciousness. They then attempt to satisfy the senses of Lord Krishna and engage in his devotional service. That is our natural form of existence. Natural. No other function. But original function is this: identifying oneself as the part and parcel of Krishna. That means identity is connected with Krishna. Then everything is connected with Krishna. That is the point. This is known as self-realization. Understand what is the self. Both self, the small self and the capital S-E-L-F, self, Krishna. Krishna has entered in every living being's heart and every atom in the material creation. So a living entity, a soul, when tries to interact with the dead matter, it is very frustrating. A soul cannot interact with the dead matter. But the fully awakened soul can interact with Krishna everywhere, knowing fully that Krishna has entered in every atom and in everyone's heart. So they see Krishna, interact with Krishna, even in this material world. স্থাবর জঙ্গম দেখে না দেখে তার মূর্তি, সর্বত্র হয় তার ইষ্টদেব স্ফূর্তি. He may see different forms of moving and non-moving entities, or anything matter, or anything moving or non-moving and living entities. But he actually doesn't see any form. He sees Krishna and he interacts with Krishna. That is the pure devotee's natural function. And that is the point in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? It's the first step of God realization or self-realization. In Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Second canto, first chapter. That is known as the first step of God realization. To see Krishna in everything and everywhere, right? In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna said, right? Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasaham na pranishyam sacha me na pranashyati. One who sees me everywhere and everything he sees in me, he is never lost to me and I am not lost to him. Means the constant connection is established. Connection means yoga. So whether we are in this material world or in the spiritual world, a soul is completely in connection with Lord. By interacting with Lord anywhere, knowing fully that Krishna has entered in everything, he has entered in me as Paramatma, is also entered in every living being's heart. So a pure soul is always interacting with Krishna. The consciousness is fully in connection with Krishna. Natural awareness is that Krishna is here. He has entered in every atom, in every living being heart. That's the first stage of God realization, according to Srimad Bhagavatam. What Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, it is more elaborately spoken into in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Second canto, first chapter. And from Gita we know Krishna is the cause of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation. So the creation has been emanated from Krishna and resting on Krishna and goes back to Krishna. So this is Krishna. Krishna is with the creation. And creation is Krishna's energy. Living being is also Krishna's energy. And what is the creation ultimately? Creation is the sacrificial paraphernalia for the worship of Krishna. This creation, the cosmos, is not meant for our enjoyment. It's meant for Krishna's enjoyment. Sacrificial paraphernalia. The soul is also sacrificial paraphernalia for Krishna's pleasure, yagna. And that is the most potent yagna. Most potent yagna is this, to see the connection of the creation and living being with Krishna. To see that connection between Krishna and the living being. To see the connection between Krishna and the cosmos. Remain absorbed in Krishna. That is the very powerful yagna or sacrifice. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva yena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. If you realize that everything is spiritual originally, because coming from Krishna, resting on Krishna, going back to Krishna, made of Krishna, Krishna's energy, and there's no difference between our energy and energetic. So, Shaktiman, Shaktimatayor, what is the difference? No difference. A beautiful verse. Well, because of something I have forgotten anyway. There's no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman, because Shakti is situated in Shaktiman, inside. So, for an awakened, pure soul, this cosmos is Krishna, another form of Krishna. The activities of the cosmos is also Krishna. The results also Krishna. The results of the activities of all living beings is also Krishna. So they perceive Krishna all the time, and that is the very potent, very powerful yagna. If we see the connection of everything and everyone with Krishna, then we get the benefit of going back home, back to Godhead. That is the point. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva yena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. He is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. So he gets the benefits by practicing this consciousness. This consciousness is known as yagna. Brahmarpanam, everything is connected with Krishna and offering everything is an offering for Krishna. So that kind of consciousness itself is yajna. And if we have that realization, then we get the benefit of going back home, back to Godhead. Because we get the benefit of being in the transcendental position. When the identity is connected with Krishna, when we see, feel, understand, realize the connection of everything with Krishna, that means we get the benefit of being situated in the transcendental position. Ultimately, we get the benefit of going back home, back to Godhead. What in Gita, Sri Krishna very carefully has handed down the knowledge to us. So here also, Mahaprabhu is establishing that higher consciousness and handing down that knowledge to us through the explanations of Atma Rama verse to Sanatana Goswami. So all kinds of living beings are worshipping Krishna. Who can see it? Who has the Atma consciousness, not body consciousness. If I am not the body, I am not the body. If I am not the body, why should I care what kind of body I have? I have American body or Indian body, old body, new body, sick body, or healthy body. Means transcend the bodily consciousness. That doesn't mean we should not use the body. We have to transcend the bodily consciousness. That doesn't mean that we should not use the body, we should neglect the body. It is not. The conception must be changed. What happens when we are absorbed with the bodily consciousness? Krishna is removed from our consciousness. There's no room for Krishna. We may think, okay, sometimes I will have bodily consciousness, sometimes Atma consciousness, spiritual consciousness. That will not work because it's not yajna. Yajna means complete offering, sacrifice. Sacrificial paraphernalia is the soul for the Lord. The whole cosmos is the sacrificial paraphernalia for the pleasure of the Lord. So the consciousness must be attuned like that, fully. Yeah. This is the purpose of the creation, to give us the full chance to have the qualification for go back home, back to God. To awaken our full original identity, original consciousness. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. He has given us the Swarup, Swabhava, Swarupa Bhava. He has given us the Swarup. What is that Swarup? Jive Swarupahai Krishna Nityadas. So we should not be very much worried about our Swarup. The Swarup already been given by Mahaprabhu. We should use that Swarup as original servant. The sense of servitorship must be alive in us. We should be situated in that sense of servitorship. As soon as the sense of servitorship is awakened, the sense of proprietorship is gone. Sense of doership, enjoyship, all gone. See, that is the point, in the Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, right? to see Anishwaram, this world. Behind this world, there is no controller, Krishna. It is known as demoniac mentality. Ishvara aham aham bhogi. This is demoniac mentality. When we identify ourselves with the body, that means Krishna is removed, Krishna is disconnected. And that is our demoniac mentality. Second step is that we are the enjoyer, Ishvara, aham bhogi. So in every step, we must connect everything with Krishna. All the activities of the living beings are connected with Krishna. The results of the activities of the living is connected with Krishna. The cosmos is connected with Krishna. This is Krishna. You can serve Krishna anywhere and in any place by having this full consciousness. I am Krishna's subservient servant. So now, in text 23, Mahaprabhu is speaking more about that. Okay. এই জীব সনকাদি সব মুনিজন নিগ্রন্থ মূর্খ নীচ স্থাবর পশু গণ. So in the last verse, Mahaprabhu speaking that even all kinds of living beings worship Krishna. They are known as Atmaram in aggregation, in the sense of aggregation, means all. So now including even including great personalities. They are also known as Atmaram. So Atmaram has a different meaning from different perspectives. Right? So what things are also included in the word Atmarama? Living entities include great personalities like the four Kumaras, and also low-class foolish people, trees, plants, birds. These, as we know, two types of intelligence, right? We heard that Atma, known as endeavor, yatna, and intelligence, right? What are the meanings? Let me see. So far, we heard about the meaning of different meanings of Atma. Atma means mind. Atma means endeavor. Atma means endurance. Intelligence of two types means very great personalities, intelligence, and very foolish people's intelligence. And nature. Today's verse about the nature. Svabhava, Swarup Bhava. Swarup Bhava, nature. Original consciousness, original nature of all living entities. So these are the different meanings of Atmaram verse, or Atmarami, or Atma means according to Mahaprabhu. So he is giving some examples. 204 Vyasa Shuka Shanukadira Prasiddha Bhajana Nirgrantha Sthabaradira Shuna Vivarana. The devotional service of Vyasa, Shuka, and the four Kumaras are already been well celebrated. Now let me explain how immovable living entities like trees and plants engage in the Lord's devotional service. Because we are all eternal service of Krishna, we cannot do any otherwise, right? In in a conditioned state and in the original state, liberated state, everyone is under the control of Krishna and serving Krishna, but in a different way. In our pure consciousness, we render loving devotion service. In our conditioned state, we are going through our karmic reactions, sometimes suffering, sometimes enjoying material things. That is also being engaged in devotion service indirectly, not directly, because we are servants. It cannot be otherwise. Everyone is following Krishna's desire or will. But with the original nature or with the conditioned nature, that's the point. With the original nature or with the conditioned nature. So, Mahaprabhu is giving some examples how conditioned nature is also inducing us for following Krishna's will, because nobody can cross or supersede Krishna's will. You are never independent of Krishna's will. By realizing the fortunate soul voluntarily surrenders unto Krishna, accepts Krishna's will. That is also a very powerful form of yagna, performing yagna. As we know, yagna vai Vishnu, yagnarthat karmano natra, lokayam karma bandhana, tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Following Krishna's will is very powerful form of yagna. Not my will, thy will be done. My will should be sacrificed. I am meant for your pleasure. My consciousness, my existence is meant for your pleasure. That is the very powerful form of sacrifice. It is very important to hear constantly from Krishna, hearing Krishna's philosophy. The philosophy will lead to the inner awakening, right? Hearing means Krishna Swarup. Krishna Namo, Krishna Guno, Krishna Lila, Vrinda, Krishna Ri Sharupa Shamo, Shap Chidananda. Realizing this point means I'm engaged in sacrifice, yagna, with Krishna. Krishna Nama, chanting of Krishna, Hare Krishna mantra must be connected with Krishna. Krishna Rupa, Krishna's form, Archa Vigraha, connected with Krishna. Krishna Lila Brinda, when we hear Krishna Lila, pastimes or philosophy, everything is Krishna Swarupa Shama, everything is Krishna Swarup. Self-same Krishna. It cannot be realized very easily. It needs enough purity and maturity. And we realize, and with that realization, we are connected with Krishna. It's a deep connection, means the connection must be realized in depth. Whatever I'm saying must be practiced in depth. Then you are performing yagna, potent yagna, yagnarthat karma nanya, lokayam karma vandana. This consciousness is yagna, offering to Lord. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahma, no, Brahmanahutam. You say everything in connection with Brahma, Parabrahma. Brahmaiva yena gantavyam. He is sure to go back to the spiritual world. Brahma karma samadhina. Everything is the offering of Lord, offering to the Lord for his satisfaction, full cognizance. So some great percentages are voluntarily doing that, and others, the foolish, the trees, plants, or other living entities, immovable or foolish, they're also rendering service in a different way. So now Mahaprabhu speaking, let me explain how immovable living entities like trees and plants engage in their Lord's devotional service. Means the conditioned living entities. They're forced to follow Krishna's will. Now Mahaprabhu is giving that understanding, because he is saying the devotional service of Vyasa, Shukra and four Kumaras has already been well celebrated. Means we know how they are doing, because they are fully aware of the truth. They're engaged in natural devotional service to the truth. That is their natural original consciousness. That has been already fully awakened, and they're situated in full connection with Krishna. So in the 205, Mahaprabhu is speaking about that. How? Let me explain. He said, just said to Sanatana Goswami, but let me explain. Now let me explain how immovable living entities, like what? Like trees, plants, engage in the Lord's devotional service. Very interesting, isn't it? So in 205, Krishna, Mahaprabhu speaking to Sanatana Goswami in 205. Krishna kripadi hetu hoite shavaro udayo. Krishna gunakrishta hoya ahare bhajaya. Everyone is eligible to receive Krishna's mercy, including Vyasadeva, the four Kumaras, Shukadeva Goswami, low-born creatures, trees, plants, and beasts. By Krishna's mercy, they are elevated and engaged in his service. Purport. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9.3, wherein the Lord says, Mam hi partha vyapashritya yepi svu papayonaya Sriyo Vaishyas Tatha Shudras Teti Yanti Param Gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination. Everyone is eligible to become Krishna's devotee. One simply has to be trained according to the approved process. It is the work of Krishna's confidential devotees to turn everyone into Krishna Bhakta. If the confidential devotees do not take up the task of elevating everyone to Krishna consciousness, then who will do it? Those who claim to be devotees but do not engage in Krishna's service to elevate all living creatures to Krishna consciousness are to be considered Kanishta Adhikaris, people in the lowest stage of devotional service. When one rises to the second platform of devotional service, his business is to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Those who are active in Krishna consciousness movement should not return to the neophyte stage, but should rise to the platform of preachers. The second platform of devotional service. Devotional service is to enchanting that even the first-class devotees, Uttamadhikaris, also come down to the second platform to preach and render devotional service, render service to the Lord for the benefit of the whole world. So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining very nicely. Some of the next verses will explain more. As Mahaprabhu is continuing, that he's explaining how immovable entities like plants and trees are also engaged in devotional service. How? Now he is speaking Krishna Kripadi Hetu. Hoite Shavara Udai. Krishna Guna Krishna Hiya Tahare Bhajai. Everyone is eligible to receive Krishna's mercy. This is the first point. Because everybody is originally Krishna's servants or devotees. Everyone. So everyone is eligible, has got the right to become recipient of Krishna's mercy, including Vyasadeva, the very elevated personalities, four Kumaras, Shukadev Goswami, as well as low-born creatures. Because many examples will be there, right? Mahaprabhu was passing through the Jharkhand forest. He distributed love of God even to the animals. Right? Means their original Krishna consciousness had been awakened by the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So what to speak of us? If the animals are eligible for receiving Krishna's mercy, means their soul can be awakened to the original consciousness. We are also completely eligible to become recipients of Krishna's mercy, means Mahaprabhu's mercy, provided we take full shelter of Mahaprabhu's process or mercy. He has given us the process of chanting. Because through the chanting, the animals were completely were awakened. They came to their original position, being servants of Krishna. They were chanting. Original Krishna consciousness were fully awakened. Point is, are we seriously desiring that or endeavoring that as soon as possible my original consciousness must be awakened? The process has been given in Srimad Bhagavatam very beautifully. First canto, second canto, third canto, many cantos were dedicated for describing the creation. Why? So we can be eligible for getting out of the creation where we are implicated now, complicated. It means we are now entangled in the very, very complex meshes of birth and death. Unless we realize this is Krishna, everything is Krishna actually. That means Krishna is simply engaging us in his service in every way. Krishna is engaging us for his service. We are just the instruments for the sacrifice. Means yagna. We are the instruments for his pleasure. There's no other purpose for the living beings. No other goal. We're simply the instruments. And Krishna is accomplishing everything himself. Our vision should be completely spiritual vision. Through the vision of Krishna, we should see the world, the creation. It's Krishna's energy, Krishna's creation, and it's Krishna. We will be very much respectful. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everything is Krishna. The whole creation is Krishna. Partial Krishna, but Krishna. Krishna's parts are Krishna. Not the full Krishna, but Krishna. Different and non-different. Not full Krishna, but partial Krishna. Part of Krishna. I'm Brahman. Brahmarpanam Brahma Agno Brahmanahutam. Brahmarpanam Brahma Habir Brahmana. Brahmarpanam Brahma Habir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam. Brahmaiva Jena Gantabhyam. Brahma Karma Samadhina. Everything is Brahman. Meant for Brahman. Engaged for Brahman's service. Then we get the benefit of going back, home back to Godhead. So this vision must be changed. This Krishna conscious vision. The first step of God realization in second canto's first chapter is for that. See the connection. So the detailed explanations are there in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the creation and dissolution. Coming out of Krishna, going back to Krishna step by step. So all everything is Krishna. And so, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport, everyone is eligible to become Krishna's devotees. Actually, we are original devotees. We have forgotten that our Swarupa, Bhava, Swabhava, we have forgotten. So, it can be fully again manifest. Now the full-fledged Swarup must manifest. As long as the body is strong and stout, the mind is strong and stout, consciousness is strong and stout, we must endeavor for this one thing, not any other thing. We should not implicate us in any way into the complex entanglement with the material nature. And it is illusory. It means consciousness is entangled. What is liberation? Liberation means liberate the consciousness from the entanglement. That's why it is important. To become liberated first means to become free from this entanglement. Who will be free? The consciousness. And then consciousness must be engaged in the service of the Lord. First, extract the consciousness from the entanglement with the material energy. And second, engage the consciousness in the loving devotion service to Krishna. So therefore, Prabhupada many times said, the devotees are already liberated because they are engaged in the devotion service. Indeed, it is true. Consciousness is implicated, entangled, so now consciousness should be liberated. When consciousness not in touch with the material energy, that means there is no contamination in the consciousness. Consciousness is pure. And with a pure consciousness, we can render pure devotional service. consciousness. That's the point. So Srila Prabhupada says one simply has to be trained according to the approved process. This training is going on with us, but on our part, we should be very much actively involved, or very serious, very sincere, very serious and sincere, to go back to our original consciousness. It is the work of Krishna's confidential devotees to turn everyone into Krishna Bhakta. So the preachers do this all auspicious activities to remind everyone about their Swarupa Bhava, Swabhava. You are originally Krishna's servant, and no one can become happy without being engaged in the Krishna's service. So Srila Prabhupada says, the Kanishta Adhikaris or neophyte devotees, they are not willing to that service, to help others, to bring others, into the Krishna consciousness. So who does this service? The Madhyama Adhikari. Who is Madhyama Adhikari? Whose consciousness is released from the entanglement, and he's in a liberated state. He's fully cognizant of his own identity. He's situated in the transcendental position as a servant of Krishna. He sees someone is innocent, someone is envious of Krishna, someone is very elevated in Krishna consciousness, someone is in the equal level of Krishna consciousness. So he properly behaves with everyone, and very suitably he gives, very expertly he gives Krishna consciousness, distributes Krishna consciousness to others, and bringing others to the level of devotee, is to help others to become devotees of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says, those who are active in Krishna consciousness movement should not remain in the neophyte stage, should not remain indifferent or inactive, but should rise to the platform of preachers. By saying Krishna consciousness or sharing Krishna consciousness with others, our own Krishna consciousness becomes very strong. The second, rise up to the platform of preachers, the second platform of devotional service. Devotional service is so enchanting that even the first-class devotees, Uttama Adhikari, also come down to the second platform to preach and render service to the Lord. Uttama Adhikari only sees Krishna everywhere, so they don't feel, who do you preach? Because everyone is engaged in devotional service already. They cannot preach, so they come down to the second level to see, oh, this person is innocent, that person is envious of Krishna, this person is very elevated, that person is like me. So they try to distribute the Krishna consciousness to the innocent. So Uttama Adhikari devotees, they come down to the Madhyama. So there is no gap between Uttama and Madhyama. Uttamas come down to Madhyama and they distribute Krishna consciousness. So this much we have covered today. Mahaprabhu speaking, and next few verses will be more on this subject that Krishna Mahaprabhu spoke to Sanatana Goswami. Now let me explain how immovable living entities like trees and plants are engaged in the Lord's devotional service. means how all the living entities in aggregation means in total can be known as Atmanama. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to this class. We have covered up to 205. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for a very, very wonderful class, Mataji.
Thank you. Is there any question or comment here?
Hare Krishna, any question or comment from Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare.
Yeah, one question is, just want to confirm that, you know, as you were saying, you know, everyone is engaged in Krishna's service, whether from the original platform, you know, of the soul or the conditioned platform, but it cannot be called devotional service unless a person is intentionally doing that service, right? And then also, you know, when Krishna says that everyone is following my path, doesn't that mean that, as I just said, everyone, whether in a perfected state or a conditional state, everyone is acting according to Krishna's will? It's just that some people are doing it intentionally and some people are doing it by following the dictates of their, let's say, material bodies, you know, their minds, from the conditioned state. But everybody is serving Krishna in, you know, in one way or another. So is that what is meant by everyone is following my path?
Well, you know, very advanced devotees realize that. What you said, that word we are hearing. Right? The pure devotees voluntarily rendering service, right? And conditioned souls are being forced through going through the karmic reactions, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that is going through miseries or happiness, good or bad. Ultimately, because no one is independent of Krishna's will, so what can be there? Anything else? No, Krishna's will. Huh? So it is correct what you said. But because it is not done with love or voluntarily, so it is not that way devotional service. That devotional service means without motivation, self-motivation. Devotion means without self. That is the meaning. But still they are forced to, like prison inmates, prisoners in the prison house, they are also forced to follow the state's law. And they are not willingly doing, but they are not outside of the state's law. Who can go outside of the state's law? Whether you are in the prison house or you are a free citizen, laws are different from for free citizens and for the inmates in the prison house. And all laws of state, all are the laws of state. Similarly, but a criminal has the right to become again a free citizen, provided he follows the laws of state, again abide by the laws. So you are right. That's it. So very interesting points are coming actually. For the next few verses, we are going to hear beautiful, beautiful things. What Mahaprabhu has started to speak to Sanatana Goswami. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Anything else? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
It sounds like you have a cold, cough, something like that.
Me?
If you have it, okay.
Oh, I'm okay. Actually, I was sleeping in a deep sleep. When I fell asleep, I didn't know. Actually, up to 8 o'clock, I was awake because knowing that class was there. So I was just little rest because from 3 o'clock I was up,
Yeah.
Different places. I also attended classes. Class, 5 to 6, many places I had to go today. I didn't have chance to even take rest. So 8 o'clock I was thinking, okay.
Okay. Because in the beginning your sound was like, that you were not feeling well.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I was
No, it's natural. Since we have this body, so sometimes it does take the toll. We do so much work, so much
believe.
So
And last, yeah, because it's late here. Now it is already 10:37 at night.
Yeah.
I could not remember when I fell asleep. I don't know. And my Prabhuji husband actually, woke me up just 2-3 minutes before the class. He also
not feeling well.
Otherwise I'm feeling all right because I was deeply asleep. So that's right. I'm so sorry.
It was a nice class, though.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're not feeling well, but you still gave a very nice class. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right, so we can end the class now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, for your very valuable session. Now we can end the call, yes. Paying our obeisances to all the devotees and her Savitri Mataji, Vansa Kalpataruvasya,
Kripa Sindhuvaivacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namo. Shri
Ki Jai,
Ki Jai, Gol Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare